All righty, everybody. Here we
What's
are,
good?
unmuted and everything, for episode 19 of the wonderful Cruise Corner.
Welcome to the show. Today we are talking about the U.S. Open, and we're gonna be making some announcements. I think we pretty much announced the last show a little bit. In case you missed it, we're gonna make the announcement again.
We like
Uh,
announcements about an announcement around here.
that's my
That's
favorite
favorite.
kind of announcement. We
Yeah,
announced announcement about announcements.
that we're gonna
Stay
make an
tuned for our
announcement.
announcement. It's coming. Um, we're going to talk about some U.S. Open stuff and try to get you. We're well. Here's the first one, right? Well, here's the first one. We are opening registration. Can I officially say when? Can I say it? This
Yeah, over the
weekend?
weekend,
I
right?
mean, are
That's
we
right.
gonna
This
be able to
weekend.
make it? Are we gonna be able to make it on time? That's the question.
Well, stay tuned for this weekend about an announcement. This is definitely an announcement about an announcement. um, yeah, so we're gonna be opening registration this weekend. So stay tuned. Now, the reason why that's important is the opening days of registration are the cheapest it'll ever be. So have your pocketbooks ready, have your credit cards ready to buy, because that is the cheap. If you guys don't like the price day of, or if it's a little bit expensive, then register this weekend. It's gonna
I
be
would say
dirt
get an auntie's credit card if you can't,
Auntie's
I
credit
mean,
card, whoever's
how
credit
cheap it
card you
is.
want. It's gonna be what are we opening at? It was like 60 something, 70, 69.
I don't know. It's somewhere lower than that, I thought.
It's definitely gonna be,
59.
is it 59? It's gonna
I
be the
think it's been
lowest.
59.
Hey, I mean, it's cheap, right? So be prepared
You
to
can't get
open
a meal for your family at McDonald's for $59 these days.
Not anymore.
No, man. I buy
You
my
go to a
chicken
pizza
nugget
shop,
meals.
$59 is like what? You get a pie, maybe a couple things. It's crazy. It's
Well,
almost
you're
Ahmad
nothing.
you're
passing.
in you're in New
You
York
missed the
too, so
announcement, Ahmad. Ahmad missed the announcement. And once again, we're gonna repeat it. We're gonna do announcement again. He says, what time?
Ahmad,
What? Huh?
Ahmad.
What? It's this weekend. We are opening registration. The tournament date is gonna be the 23rd and 24th of November, the weekend before Thanksgiving.
Oh, you
Yes,
gave
folks,
him
we're
the
not
date.
doing it after this time. We're not going to torture you. We're going to be doing it before Thanksgiving.
Well, it's not like we wanted to anyway. We had to it was either go with those dates or not have a tournament. So
Right. And we
I
didn't,
think
we,
people
right,
preferred that.
right. It
How
was,
about
it was.
this announcement? Bam. You can eat turkey. See, look at that.
A good announcement. So we'll,
No, but
you
see,
guys
the key
can,
difference this time is that we're going to a 2-day event, so we're shortening it a little bit so people can kind of get in and out, and get to your holiday festivities a little earlier, and so or just tie up loose ends. So it's going to be 2 days of action. Of course, you have the weigh-in day, administrative day. Some people are traveling on the weigh-in day; they can recoup, and so you're fighting on Saturday and Sunday, and it'll be a long day, but
yeah.
we could be shortened it by a day just to make it easier for everybody.
So
Anderson's
weigh-ins
asking.
are going to be the 22nd this time, which is the Friday instead of
That's right.
Thursday.
Friday the 22nd is weigh-ins. We have a question about pro tournament. Yes, this is going to be pro and amateur. So it's going to be pros. Last tournament, we had a pro division, a 3-man pro division, and we gave out our new shiny pro division belts. Really cool belt. I absolutely love that belt. It's probably the nicest belt we've had, designed by yours truly, Ryan Burnett. And came out really, really nice. Everybody really loved that belt. We still have a couple more to give out. So you can register. I suggest if you're a pro and you're interested in competing in this tournament and you need some ring time, as a pro, just need to get in there. It's only against other pros. So the difference about our pro division than any other division is that you have to have pro experience to compete in the pro division. You cannot make your debut at our tournament. This is in Arizona State. And so in Phoenix, or it's actually in Mesa, the Phoenix area. And so you have to have pro experience. So you're going to be amongst other pros. You have to prove that you fought pro. Otherwise, you won't be able to compete in the pro division at our tournament. It's very important that you do not make your debut at our tournament, because we don't want people coming in off the street and telling us that they're pros. Nothing that we could do to stop them, unless we tell them that they have to have some pro experience. Then we know if they've been through a pro fight or not, and you know that's so yeah. If you're not, if you are, let's see, his other question is, if you are not pro, you can do the amateur division. Yes. So if you're an amateur, you compete in the amateur division. If you're a pro with at least one pro fight, and that MMA counts and boxing counts. So if you have a pro MMA fight, you have a pro boxing fight, you are technically, by the state of Arizona, you are a professional athlete, and you cannot compete in the amateur divisions. So, yeah. So if you're an amateur, you haven't fought pro yet, you're technically still an amateur until you fight a pro fight, then you can compete in the amateur divisions, which is pretty stacked up. You have a pretty good amount of divisions there. So, thank you for the question, Anderson. Yeah, so we're opening that this weekend. You can register for all these things. And the cool thing is, when you go to register, we're adding some new some added value to our tournament, some cool things that you can sign up for at no additional cost. So as an athlete, as a coach, if you're a coach or an athlete, you can participate in what we're going to be calling the Muay Thai Combine, which is a combination of all of our coaches and athletes coming together to learn from each other. And we're going to have different exercises where we can learn from each other, things like hand wrapping, things like judge referee, things like, growing a successful Muay Thai business, marketing and all that stuff, talking about, how to be a better pad holder, how to be an effective pad man, so all these things you're going to be learning from each other. And we're just going to create little exercises. There's going to be no real lead, but the exercises are designed to learn from each other. So it's not a competitive thing, but more of a cumulative kind of thing where we're going to learn from each other. So
More
that's kind
clinical,
of
more
cool.
educational, right?
Right. It's very
Tiago,
educational.
would you say too, those videos that you see where like it's just cringeworthy? It's like somebody out in a park somewhere, holding like Muay Thai mitts or boxing mitts, and they're kicking and doing all these things, and you're just like, oh man, I hope they're not telling them that's like Muay
I hope they're
Thai.
not teaching.
Yeah,
Period.
exactly.
Like
But
and that's
as
those are
you
the people that I
progress,
would
though,
invite.
but
That's
as
the
you
people.
progress, so the funny thing I was thinking just now was that imagine how that modifies as you get better. So like what this will do is help level you up to where you're even going to see more experienced pad holders, and you're still going to say, I hope they're not teaching that as Muay Thai.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah,
hope.
my favorite phase is you don't know what you don't know. And so like the Muay Thai Combine is like a perfect place to kind of get an eye-opening experience. And I think
Of
what's
what you
really
don't
cool,
know.
right? And what we're not even talking about is like a lot of people have a gym stacked full of talented, like driven people who show up 5 days a week, couple days a week, people who want to, who are in the gym training real hard every week, and they're not really sure if they're ready to compete yet. And it's a big leap to take. It takes a lot of courage to do something like that. And like the combine is going to be a perfect place for those people who aren't going to be, not necessarily ready to compete yet, either on a confidence level or skill level, but for them to come out and like as a coach, it's like almost like a day off to you. You can bring your people out. They can get some really, really good education, some good training, and you don't have to do all
I
the
mean,
work.
it's great it's not really a day off. I want the coaches there. I'm hoping that the coaches show up, because without them, there's really no combine, right? The coaches, the cumulative knowledge of those coaches is what makes the combine. it's not one guy we're bringing in, right? Like it's not just me sitting there,
Well,
or it's
I
not
mean,
just
not that they're
Brandon.
doing nothing, but what I meant to say was
I get what
that
you're saying.
the weight
I
the
don't want them
weight
to
of
get
the
confused.
entire program isn't on them. You know, they don't have to be it. They're not the funnel, the bottleneck. They can rely on the expertise in the room.
Right. And that'd be kind of dope to, and even the expert, even, I mean, when you say, I don't know, you don't know what you don't know. Coaches, that applies to coaches too. That applies to experienced coaches. You know, there's a lot of coaches that, the great ones always continue to learn. They're constantly in the learning phase. The great coaches. At no point are they like, I know it all. Because you really don't. And this sport's kind of cool that way. There are levels and it's endless levels. And you continue to learn if you keep your mind open. The coaches I really don't trust are the ones that walk around like they've seen and known everything already. Are you really, you see, okay, maybe you've seen a lot. You've seen
Come
a
on,
lot
I've
more
been to
than
Thailand, Tiago. I've been to Thailand, so I
I
know.
did my Masatati,
I mean, I
thing.
went. I got the tattoos. I
I've
mean,
seen
I
it
got the
all.
tattoos.
Right? You've
So
been to the temple. You're good,
I've
right?
been,
That's it.
I've been to the
Been
Wat.
blessed.
We know
You rode
everything.
the tuk tuk. You got it
That's right.
done.
We know it
Got the
all.
certificate.
You got the certificate from Masatati, you're set.
No, unfortunately, we had dinner at the Rib Room next to Master Toddy once, but no certificates,
No
unfortunately.
certificates. We didn't take the course. But I would say
Or pay
I
his
would,
bill.
he could have paid the bill. Shit. Um, but yeah, I know. Like I want the coaches to come in there. I talked to a couple really good coaches that would love to be a part of it and actually committed to being a part of it. Like really, really great coaches came up to me like, man, I'm kind of curious to see how the other coaches do it. I want to jump. I want to participate. And so, like, I might learn something from somebody else. I might learn something from an inexperienced coach. They might have something to offer. You don't know. But the whole thing is designed to keep an open mind so we can all learn from each other rather than learning from one source. So when you go to register this weekend, there are going to be check boxes. Blake asked the exact question I'm going to answer right now. Blake, I'm going to answer that question right now. When you go to register as an athlete or a coach, there's gonna be some check boxes on your registration page, and you need to decide because that's the only place that coaches and athletes can sign up for it. So even if you're interested but you don't know if you're gonna go, remember it's no extra cost to coaches or athletes. So if you're interested, maybe you're on the fence, check the modules you're interested in. You know what? I want to do hand wrapping. I want to do, marketing. I want to do Muay Thai gym business. I want to do those two modules. That's it. And from there, we're going to send you prompts after, a certain point. We're going to see that, okay, so-and-so, we saw that you registered for the, hand wrapping. The hand wrapping is going to be on Friday night at 7 p.m. We're going to follow up with you, making sure that you are still interested, in the time, because it's not going to be during the tournament. It's going to be in the off hours of the tournament. So if you're coaching or competing, you can still participate in this. If you're not a coach or an athlete, we're going to have a separate registration page for people that want to participate. It's going to be at an extra fee. So if you want to participate and you want to, oh, you know what? I want to participate. And that's the people this is designed for. The people that aren't coaches or athletes are probably going to get the most out of this because they are going to learn an insane amount in 2 days or 3 days, wherever days. You're going to be in a room full of knowledge. And so you're going to be able to pick up the things that you like and you don't like. You're going to see some things like, oh man, I really like the way that hand wrap feels. Holy cow, what did you do there? Oh, well, I taped over your over your knuckle in this way. And this guy did this so to make you feel a little bit more comfortable. And you can take that home with you. That's yours. That knowledge is yours. Nobody can take that from you. And that's like the most valuable thing you can get. So, Blake, if you're listening, that's if you're an athlete or a coach, you can get it for free. Just make sure you check those boxes on your registration. And if you're not, we will look out for that registration link. You'll be
Yeah,
able to
you guys
sign up
will
for that.
see right now on the website, like I could do a better job of that, like cleaning it up and then refreshing it every time we're done with an event. But we run a pretty lean crew, and to do that, it's just so much extra work. So until we have the new dates, new everything, that's when we post all that up there. So keep a lookout over the next couple days. We'll start updating. You'll start seeing links. We're going to have the links to the photos and videos from the previous tournament up there pretty quick. We'll have the links under a link tree for this event. It'll have, the Y Crew competition at some point on there, as well as, this combine event registration for people who are not already registered. And it'll have all the links that you need on that page.
Yeah. So with that as well, on the registration page, we've listened. And you guys have been asking for an event t-shirt for a long time. And believe me, we heard your cries. Okay. So we are going to allow you to pre-purchase your event t-shirt. So there's going to be a commemorative, event shirt. A lot of people really like those. I mean, every time I race and anything, I like those shirts. I still have every single one of them. And so we're going to allow you to prepay for those shirts. You can purchase them right on your registration as you're registering. You pick out your size, and that's it. And then you can prepay for them, and it'll be added price to your registration. So when you come in, you'll receive that shirt at checkout. So if you prepay for that. So a lot of people have been asking for those, and you can purchase many of them as you like. If you wanted to buy 5 or 4 or 1, you can purchase as many as you like. They will be waiting for you at the registration or at the ticket desk on the day of competition. So we added a couple cool things so that you guys get, again, these are all per your guys' suggestion.
Another thing people complain about a lot too is the streamlining the photo and the video package. So, we're working on also getting that built into the registration flow. So that's just, it's one less thing you have to do after the event. You don't have to, do any other things. It's just, we already know who you are, and we'll just get you the stuff you need.
And we also talked about, I think, putting a QR code at the event, so you'll be able to order that as well. It'll be at, I think, a higher price at the day of, but look for that that link in your registration.
I got a question from Destry is, will they be updated shirts, and will they still be required? So just to avoid confusion here, the shirts that are competition shirts, that's not what we're talking about. Those will still be included in your registration.
We call those a jersey, just for anybody, for terminology purposes. We call them a jersey, not a shirt, typically for competition.
Right. And so those are competition jerseys that you will be required to wear. That's it helps judges and referees, and it keeps things very uniform. See who's the red, who's the blue. And yes, they will be required. Now, will they be updated? I don't know if the jerseys are they going to be updated. I think they're going to be the same design every year. We do the same design every year, and
we may change them. We're talking about doing the 10-year. We were talking about that on our meeting earlier.
Yeah.
Is doing a 10-year anniversary. Because that's next year for 2025. For everybody who doesn't know, we've been doing this tournaments for 10 years longer in the fight business, but we're going to celebrate that, and we'd appreciate you guys all to join in, and we'll have some merchandise out and change some of the things. I think we should do that. We'll make a nice we'll update that design,
commemorative design for 2025.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll be coming out with that. Yes, and so but these are commemorative shirts, so these are optional. We're not requiring you to purchase them, but they are nice to have, walk around.
Souvenirs.
They're souvenir shirts that people have been asking for this for a long time, and I know we've been dropping the ball on it a little bit. We've been really focusing on streamlining our weigh-in process and our fight process, and that's really took priority. And now that we have that down pat, we've had a couple really successful weigh-ins. Our competition is pretty streamlined. We really don't. We the last tournament we barely had any hiccups, and that's thanks to really good, coaches and athletes. And we can start focusing on some of these little things to kind of work on the community suggestions here. Another questions is
Yeah, from Dimitri. We actually answered that one about when the links will be up very soon. We're actually making the website updates this week as we launch the new tournament. So you'll
yes.
see links to photo purchases, video purchases, all that.
Yeah, so Dimitri, you'll be getting your photos soon. I know it's taken a little bit, but it will be this weekend. Yeah, so there's a lot of new things coming up with the Open that we've been trying to implement, and it's been pretty cool. Like I think this combine is something I'm very excited about. It's something that's community building, that's not competition. And that's what I really wanted to focus on. So a lot of people do these, they're helping the community, but they're doing competitions in the meanwhile. Like they're trying to do competition based community building, which is something I don't know if I believe in. I wanted to do something a little more educational, and to bring the community together rather than making them compete against each other. And they learn from each other, and then they go compete at the U.S. Open in a sanctioned state governed bout. And so I feel like this is a great way to build a community and get the knowledge base out there. I've seen some wacky stuff in my day in the Muay Thai community, and I wouldn't say that these people are ill-intentioned. More, not I wouldn't even say ignorant, but they want to be part of a sport, but they haven't really learned it yet. And there's a lot of coaches, and you see them at the tournament, and they're doing like a little wacky stuff, and maybe they're trying to mix their kung fu. And all power be to you. Whatever you want to do, go for it. If it's within the rules, you can do it. But if you really want to learn and you don't know where to start, you want to learn, authentic base Muay Thai and try to learn from the culture. We're doing a Y Crew module. And the Y Crew module is going to talk about a lot of the history of the sport. You're going to be learning a lot about the history of Muay Thai through the Y Crew and the Ram Muay. And, maybe, create your own Y Crew by the end of it. The goal is to have your own unique.
And then, hey, you can compete in our competition and win some bread.
Yeah.
We
actually,
not only
winners had to get a prize.
Let's talk about the marketing side of it too. So, when you're developing a club, and you have to get known for something, it's really good to niche within the niche you're in. So you don't even need to be the best Muay Thai coach there is, but maybe you're a good kicking coach and you just focused on Muay Thai kicks and doing them perfectly 100% of the time. And there's nobody else out there that can teach how to kick in Muay Thai like you. If you really dig deep, that's how to differentiate yourself from anybody else. So, as everybody's aggressive, I know we're in this culture where it's like, oh, I'll just learn it tomorrow. I don't need to know it yet. I'll learn it tomorrow. That's not the way with martial arts. It takes generations to pass the knowledge down. It takes a long time to learn. Tiago is his whole life dedicated to this. And so, you can't just come into it and think you're going to open up a place that's going to be successful without learning some of these things. And of course, the community is small. The competition community is even smaller than that. So it's very important to just keep all that in mind and come to things that you have access to learning from, so you can really make your way, make an impact with your club.
Yeah. I just recommend it for it. And this is something that's for everyone. And when I say everyone, I mean parents. Parents want to come in and learn about the rules, judges, refereeing. You parents want to learn about how to wrap hands. Some teams are huge. If you're part of a big team and you want to pitch in and be like, hey, you know what? I'm going to learn how to wrap hands so that coach doesn't have to wrap 20 hands at the U.S. Open. I'm going to learn how to do it. I'm going to learn it from the best coaches out there. Shoot, my coach will be there too, so I might as well go.
Well, training the trainer, that's the thing that's missing too, right? Not a lot of coaches are training future trainers because maybe they don't have anybody.
I don't want anybody to miss the point. What I'm saying is not just the trainers, but the parents You know, there's a lot of people in the Muay Thai community that aren't really involved in a competitive way that want to still participate. And this is what the combine is for. It's designed so that everybody can participate, everybody can learn. You know, like if you don't really know the rules, I suggest rules judging and refereeing. Like really get acquainted with the rules here and the rules of Muay Thai, and learn how it's scored. Learn what the rules are, what the fouls are, what the fouls are. You know, we're doing a weight cutting. So like if you have a, you know, a spouse that usually cuts weight and you want to be there for that spouse, be like, watch my wife or husband cut weight and I want to help them with their diet. I want to help them. The combine is a great place for the spouse to participate and learn about, the anatomy of cutting, like what happens to your body, why you should do it a specific way. What are the risks of all these different ways of cutting, right? There's water loading. There's, these excessive, day of weight cuts. And what are the risks? Because everybody has their own way. But if you understand the risks, you'll better be prepared for how to, assist your, sometimes it's like as easy as like putting a funny movie on while your spouse is cutting weight, knowing that like maybe laughter really has a psychological effect on being able to take more pain, and you can learn this from different coaches. And I'm actually excited to hear from other coaches and their methodology on how they have their athletes get through weight cuts or dieting, or their process by which they track weight. I feel like I'm actually excited as a pupil to be part of the Muay Thai Combine, because I feel like I'm going to learn quite a bit myself. And I've been doing this for almost almost 30 years. So I highly suggest this for everybody. If you don't know if Muay Thai Combine is for you, the answer is yes, it's for you. You just have to find the niche that you're, like Brandon said, the niche that you're interested in. The niche that speaks to you the most. The way that you want to be involved in the sport doesn't always have to be in competition. Doesn't even have to be in the gym. You know what I mean? You could just be a great parent and teach you how to do that.
There's another side of this too, as we should maybe go over, is what about people who might be concerned about sharing their information with other people, or that their information is so top notch that they don't want to disclose it, or what would you maybe say to those people and that objection?
I mean, there's, first of all, that's a great objection, because I know that that's gonna come.
Well, we hear about it in the community, the athletes
Right.
who like don't register because they're like, well, if people see me in the bracket, then nobody will join, stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's fair. Like we get that a lot, and I'm gonna put that to rest, because that is just not true. Like the thing is that you only are one person with one perspective. So what the combine has to offer is a lot greater than what you have to offer to it. So the value is always going to be stronger for you. You're going to have 10 perspective versus 1. I'm excited to hear, even if it's something that I don't agree with. And it's a great way to just kind of open my mind and go, okay, that's interesting perspective. I didn't know about that. That's an interesting perspective, and I can learn from this. It must work from this coach some way, and so.
Well, or not. If you think you can exploit it, then maybe you learned something you can exploit that other people are teaching people, and then that helps you in competition as well.
I guess. I mean, I don't know if that's going to be the case. It's not designed for that. It's not designed to just be exploited.
I'm saying for the extreme pessimist, who's like,
well, they missed the point. The purpose of knowledge,
right?
To share knowledge.
To share it, to grow.
You can't take it with you. One of these days we'll all kick the bucket. We won't be here anymore. And what's gonna be your legacy? You're gonna hold on to all this stuff? No, you can't. You can't take it with you. So if
they're gonna put it in an e-course someday in 20 years when they get off their butt, they're gonna.
Those people one day they'll wake up and they'll realize what it's really about. you know, so they might be
Hopefully.
skeptics now, right? But one day it always happens, you know. You
That's
always
why we're
realize
actually
at some
talking
point.
about it, and everybody who doesn't know me that well yet, I'm just poking fun at some of the stuff that we hear about in the
I mean,
industry. And
it's legit. It's a legitimate thing, right? If you're coming in thinking like, "Oh, I'm going to come in and get an advantage on people," it's actually not going to work. The way I've designed it with the curriculum, it's not designed to be like that. And if you are a pessimist, I quite frankly don't want you there. You know, like I'll be perfectly frank. It'll kill the vibe of everybody
so
in the
stay
room.
home then. That's
Yeah,
our
stay
message.
home. If that's
Here's the
if you're not there to keep an open mind and learn and
Good, you're
grow,
not wanted.
yeah, stay home.
I
Stay
like
in
that.
stay away, and you can miss out. You know, it's not a problem. You will miss out. Because all these coaches that do participate will grow. That's a guarantee. They will grow. Whether you've been doing this for 30 years or have been doing it for 5. If you show up, you're going to learn something. And so I highly recommend, if
Well,
that's you,
here's a big secret is we learn from you all, you know, who you
that's
guys are
true.
watching us right now. We learn from you. We're listening, we're watching, you know, we're always changing things based on the feedback. And I think one of the earliest, I can't remember who shared with us, but we were at one of the lounges with a club once, and they were telling us, hey, did you guys know that it was cheaper to get a coach's pass, because we were trying to make the coach's pass
That's true.
because we heard everybody yelling and griping about how expensive the coach's pass was. So we made it really affordable. And then we heard that people were scamming getting the coach's pass, and they're
You're
not
getting
even
coaches
coach
passes instead of
the
tickets.
spectator pass, because it
It was
was
cheaper.
cheaper. And so thankfully we were like, you know, oh my gosh, like we wouldn't even have thought that people would do stuff like that. Obviously we're very trusting individuals, but it was an interesting eye opener just on that alone. So we learn from all of you, and we hope that we're all sharing this knowledge together, and this is one
Right.
more extension of just making it more formalized, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, again, I've been doing this for a long time, and I am excited about taking part in it. I'm going to be leading the exercises, but I'm not going to be dictating what the truth is. You guys are going to figure that out. That's what it's meant to do. It's meant for you guys to learn from each other. You're not going to be learning from me, the person that's leading it, but you're going to be learning from each other. You might learn something from me, but I personally hope I learn something from you guys. You're not to mention, I'm the promoter of the tournament. This is a great time to get in my ear about suggestions, about growth, how to do it's a great time to do it. This is, I love learning from the coaches. I love the feedback that we get from coaches. We have made huge changes to the tournament based on the feedback we've gotten from the coaches solely. I mean, huge things that we've done. I mean, I can't think of any right now, but man, there were so many. It's hard to kind of start. Every year we got feedback and we changed quite a bit. We did change policy. Man, the last big one that I remember was the second weigh-in rule. And one of the coaches came up to me from Pure Heart. What's the coach from Pure Heart? What's his name? You know what I'm talking about? Pure Heart? Dang it. It's not coming to me right now, of course, because I'm live. Sorry. I know your name. It's just not coming to me right now. But he comes up to me and he's like, man, a lot of these guys that don't make weight in the fine. Yeah, James. Thank you, Bethany. James. James came up to me and he's like, man, we got to do something about these 2-man brackets, right? These 2 people brackets, and one person doesn't make weight in the final weigh-in, the second weigh-in. What happens if this person doesn't fight? Now 2 people are screwed, right? The person that made weight and did everything doesn't get to fight. And the person that, didn't make weight, obviously, they're not going to get a refund. They're not going to fight. So it's a whole division gone.
Plus the
And
entourage, they get screwed
plus
too.
entourage,
Yeah.
all that money,
Everybody.
all that time. And so what happens? The person that makes weight is forced to take this unfair bout. It's It's what happens. And so, you know, he gave this suggestion where he's like, hey, why don't we just take a point off? Just start them at a deficit in the first round. So right away, the highest score you can get is a 10-9 if you miss the second weigh-in. And that's, by the way, if the other person decides it's okay to take that bout. If they go, you know what, I want to take that bout because I came here, I trained for it 6 weeks, 8 weeks, whatever. I trained for it and I did it. And now I'm here. And, you know, this guy didn't make weight and that's messed up. So what we're going to do is we're going to start them off. Basically, that person has to win every single round to win the bout. And if it's a tie, they'll probably lose because one of the tiebreakers is a foul. I mean, technically committing a foul. So they'd have to win every round to win. So, I mean, I feel like that's a fair balance, right? It's a fair balance. So you get, that was completely James McGregory, right? James Gregory from Pure Heart. That was his idea. And I love that idea. I was like, well, I ran over to Bob. I was like, Bob, what about this? And, you know, Bob thought about it. And he was like, you know, I like that. You know, he thought about it. And then we implemented it next tournament immediately. And we've used it a couple times already to save a bout, you know. And usually it's
I'm glad you're telling this story because,
yeah,
you know, the coaches, I don't think they realize this, but you don't just sign up just to get access to the event and, you know, your athlete, but, you know, you get access to us and you have a say. Like your voice does matter here. You know, it's not like we're not like a club or anything where there's like membership and there's, you know, voting and blah, blah. But we kind of treat it that way, where if you're a part of our family, if you come to our event, athlete, coach, whatever, we are very approachable. You can come to us, you can give us your 2 cents, you can write to us, and we do listen. I will stand there. Many of you see me many times. I will stand there in that lobby and I will listen 15, 20 minutes and go back and forth, you know, talking about whatever it is that's on your mind. And, you know, I do bring it back to the team and everybody else here does too. And this is, you know, we do take that very seriously. And we actually encourage you guys to do that. You know, like this is your thing. You know, I know we're the ones who are behind the scenes and we're the ones, you know,
it doesn't happen without them. It doesn't happen without the coaches.
But it doesn't happen without you guys. And
guys not only that, adding on to that, I specifically walk rounds just like any GM or any management that cares about their
Wait a second. You mean you don't hide? You're saying you
go
don't
run in the back and hide, right? Like don't look for me. What do we put signs on our table?
Oh man, don't mention that now. We'll start that drama.
Sorry. We were warned about
guys. For those who don't know, a long time ago we went to.
God, here it goes.
Oh shit!
There was a. I'm not gonna blow up anybody's spot, but it was a tournament on the East Coast, you know, somewhere in the New York area. And there was a sign next to the director's table,
the back of
basically saying, "Don't ask me questions. Don't talk to me.
Shit. Basically.
I don't know anything." And that was a sign they posted on their chair.
The commission.
So, yeah.
That was possibly the worst tournament in the history of a USA tournaments I've ever been to. Bad. People left crying. I'll never forget it. Groups of people left in tears because they had to leave and the tournament had to close down. It was wild.
They couldn't finish. Yeah.
They couldn't finish it. They couldn't finish it. It was the wildest thing. I watched it. I was like, holy cow. This is insane. It was insane.
So we all make rounds. We all are out in the crowd. We don't go lock ourselves in a back room somewhere, you know, and we're very approachable. Like Ryan said, there's different areas, obviously, that is each of our respective specialties, but you know, you can tell us anything and we'll make sure that it gets to the right person that needs to hear about it, for sure.
Jonathan Pooh, what is business interruption insurance? What is that?
Business interruption. That's
what is that?
What do you mean? What is that?
I don't know. You gotta tell me, Brandon. I've never heard that in my life.
Well, if you have an event, there's actually insurance that can cover your event, so that if something happens that causes a monetary loss, that you have a
You know, like if you
protection
have a
against that.
bodega and the pipes burst and everything is gone, you lost everything, or the power goes out and your freezer is done and you lost fifty
Well,
thousand
this
dollars in prime rib. That's what that's business interruption
yeah, no,
insurance.
no, no. I just saw that, Jonathan, too, about his roof.
Jonathan,
I knew that
Jonathan,
was about the roof situation at the
yeah,
club.
he lost his roof. It's
Jeez.
insane.
Who was up on the roof? That's what
No,
I
I,
want
I
to
don't
know.
I don't know if it was from rain, Jonathan. What happened?
What were
What
people
the
doing up
fuck
there?
happened? It was wild. I saw the picture. I was like, oh my God, there's
No,
no
they were
roof.
practicing Muay Thai on the roof, and then
That's
it
Thai
caved
style,
in.
for real Thai
That's what
style.
happened. He
Open
had
roof.
overflow
That's
class.
a Thai style training in the freaking, holy Christ. Did the insurance cover you, Jonathan? You gotta fill us in on that. He said it was a roofer. They were supposed
Oh,
to just resurface. Oh my
Yeah, he's gonna have to sue
God.
he was wearing high heels, is what it was. He was a
Mr.
roofer in
George.
high heels.
Mr. George.
Poked it right through.
Oh, oh my God. That is intense.
He was Irish, or was he? Oh man, that's funny. That's got to be
Irish
called there.
roofers are good, man. Have you seen those freaking roofs? They do it from straw. Oh my Lord.
Yeah, no, on the commercial buildings where it's just they're just nothing up there.
Oh, he said, I wish he was Irish. Holy Christ, that's brutal.
So switching gears a little bit, I'm gonna try to share this. I don't know how crude it will look, but we haven't talked a little bit about the venue shifting that will happen for this, because we're for the fall for sure we're moving away from the hotel for this event. Let me see if I can get. All right. So this is, you should be able to see. I'm just going to let this video kind of run through, but this facility is
It's
incredible.
nice.
It's
Really nice.
hundreds of thousands of square foot. The reason why we're making the transition, especially with what we're talking about today, as far as the combine and some of the extra, things that we're going to start doing, we needed more space. And we've been in about 10 to 12,000 foot plus extra for warm up space and things like that. So this is going to allow us a lot of room to expand, basically. And, I know, not sure about the plans yet. We've seen some preliminary, so I don't want to get too much into some of that, but just showing you guys how big and expansive this place is.
It's
There's
a monster. It's a monster venue. It's
Yep.
humongous. It's the largest venue we've ever been in by triple. And right, I mean, I think we're in 100 square foot, 100,000 square foot ballroom. And we have the ability. That's why we were making the announcement that Siam Fights Live is back. And that's something that's also going to be, we're planning on having that on Saturday. So just stay tuned for that. We're trying to get our license. It just depends on a lot of things. So stay tuned.
Yeah, so
and
this is the Arizona Athletic Grounds. It's located in Mesa. It's actually real close to the Phoenix Mesa Gateway Airport. So if you guys want to start looking up logistics right now, you can start looking at that. We're making some inroads with some local hotels, but there's a couple that are close to the venue as well. We just know with everything and people staying at Airbnbs and doing things a little different than the state of play model that makes the hotels work, this is probably going to be a better fit for what we're all doing. So
right, yeah, I agree.
Plus
Yeah,
room
so
for growth, definitely.
we have a space to do a combine. We have the space to do a pro Muay Thai show. We have the space to do a lot, actually. We have the
There's a
space.
ton of amenities here too. There's restaurants on site. There's, you can break away and go, grab a cold drink somewhere. There's, just a ton of other areas. There's pickleball going on. There's, softball, volleyball, all kinds of different spaces around there that other groups are using, but we'll be indoor in a nice climate controlled area. Have nice, we're going to have indoor warm up area too, correct?
Yes. So
So
we
that,
have 7 VIP rooms that uh you can sign up for. They're going to be right by the venue. So right by the venue, you can sign up, and literally it's within. So it's not even a walk. It's gonna be right there. And they're really nice. Got locker rooms, got the whole thing. So I suggest, if you plan on doing VIP rooms, you have a big room or a big team, to sign up for a VIP room. A lot of teams will usually do like will pitch um, their team to pitch in a little bit each. That way that everybody can afford it. So it does come at a cost, right? It does come at a cost. So um, you want to come in and you'll have your own room under lock and key. You can leave all your stuff there. You get hand wraps, you get bucket, you get tape, you get gauze, you get water, you get a cooler of ice. It's a real VIP. And then you get 2 VIP passes where you can sit in the VIP lounge with me and Ryan and Brandon, and have an uninterrupted view of the fight. So you'll get 2 passes per VIP room. So we try to really make it nice for the athletes, for the coaches to be a part of that.
yeah. Yeah, and Bethany was saying we got real fancy. It's just fitting. It really fits what we're trying to do. And believe it or not, we've been in negotiation with this facility for years at this point. I was following it when it first got built. We were talking to the group that managed it then, and just, they were aggressively pursuing a lot of other sports. And, so we got them, onto Muay Thai. So here we go.
Yeah, so I'm we're excited about this new venue and all these new things we'll be rolling out with. And stay tuned for the pro show. We still got to get approval from the state. I still feel like pros have it the worst here now. It used to be amateurs. You couldn't get fights anywhere. Now it's the opposite. It's a million amateurs. There's no shortage of athletes to compete against in the United States. It's awesome. That problem is solved. The problem now is if you are a pro, you have nowhere to fight. There's not a lot of pro promoters. And if they are, they're pro promoters for a very short-lived time. Because as you well know, pro fights don't make, if you are a pro promoter, and I'm sorry to burst everybody's bubble, they're not making money. They're really not. The costs for putting on a show, and you see a full house, that's a broke even house in the States. And you'll see a lot of promoters move to Mexico or go to just outskirts and try to make it profitable, because at the end of the day, you're putting in work. You expect a little bit of return on your work, and doing it over and over to lose money.
The elephant in the room is the turnout, right? So like if you're able to get 1,000 people to a Muay Thai show, that's where you'll be profitable. So if anybody ever wants to know about the Muay Thai business and promoting, we all are probably
maybe that's a module for 2025.
Well, we'll definitely work with people under contract who are going to be doing events with us for sure. I definitely would like to coach those people for sure. But it's a huge problem to only have 400 people, 500 people, 600 people showing up to an event that has this much cost as far as safety, sanctioning, ambulatory services, all the things that it needs. You just have to have an audience size of over 1,000 people to be profitable. And I would share with the community today that if you're going to Muay Thai and you're not inviting someone outside of the sport to come with you, there's a rule. If what is it? Bring one, take one,
Each
or
one bring one.
each one
Yeah.
bring one. That's it. Thank
Right.
you, Ryan. So if everybody just brings somebody that doesn't go to their gym, that doesn't know about, Muay Thai, just get into your network and invite them to come see something that they've never seen before. And I'll tell you what, by the time they learn how it's scored, just like all of you guys, we all got bit by the Muay Thai bug. And at some point, that's going to happen to them. And so if we want to grow these audiences, make it so there's more events, pro events, because a pro event obviously cannot function on less than a certain number of seats sold. And if you're an athlete and you're on these cards and you know that you're not going to promote, you need to be upfront with that and say, hey, I'm not able to do this, and how can we mitigate that, or at least talk
Right.
with the promoters
You
about it.
sell pay-per-view, sell something so that it helps, because the way we look at it, and this is how we've sat down. It's like each bout has a certain cost, right? Each bout costs. So you got to pay the athlete, you got to pay, and then let's say it's 15 bouts, right? I'm dividing the total cost by 15, and each athlete in actually by 30, because each athlete has to put in a certain amount of ticket sales to cover the cost. Because now if you're a local athlete, your ticket sales have to cover the cost of travel for that other athlete. You have to, obviously, the venue, your own pay. If your ticket sales aren't covering your own pay, you are not worth what you're
The award as
so
well,
the
the belt.
belt or the title or
Mhm.
even the trophy or the medal. Like these are things that I
I think on the
unfortunately
amateur level, it's about $2,000 a bout. I think we decided at
I
cost.
think I think it was in that range back then. I think
Yeah,
it's more now.
more now for
It's
sure.
more now. And so, you're looking, depending on the venue, right? We did 2000 about because we were at Tempe Center for the Arts, this top notch venue. Like, there's some podunk shows and it's still 2000 about. You got to think about, the venues, the doctors, the sanctioning body,
Everybody sitting around that ring and those tables, they all cost.
they all cost a lot.
People turn the lights on. It costs to turn the lights on. You want to hear some speakers, some
Well, and
sound
not
system,
only
that
that,
costs everything.
people don't understand that the venues have also been taking profitable areas away from the promoters, like food and beverage. There was a day where you got a piece of the food and beverage, or you got to partner on the food and beverage, or so I would say to any promoters out there, that's going to be a big negotiating point on your
Yeah.
terms, is are you able to provide
So
your own food and beverage?
I don't want to sit here and woe is our life. We love doing this and we do a good job at it. This is not woe is us show. But I do want you to consider that these bouts cost money. And if you're thinking about, why am I not getting any more callbacks? Think about how many tickets you sold at that last show. That promoter might go, you know what? That guy can fight, but you got to remember ultimately what this is. And it's show business. It's show business. Your value is equal to your draw, not to how good you fight, to your draw. And I'm going to put it out there. And I'm keeping it real. And if you can't handle it, turn off the damn show and don't ever listen to me again. Because this is what you came here for. You came here for real shit. And this is show business. And no matter how good you're a buck out that can't freaking sell tickets, good luck getting somebody to book you. Good luck. And if they book you, they're going to pair you with someone that sells tickets. And that would be a smart promoter, because that show will probably last quite a bit. And you have to think that way. You have to think that way. As a fighter, if you want success in this industry, you have to start thinking about, I got to sell tickets. I got to get my face out there on Instagram or whatever. I got to, promote the show. I got to build my own following. But we just had
I would
we
put
had
a
a show.
number. How about 50? Let's put a number of 50. If you had 20 athletes for 10 bouts and they each brought 50 people. That's that 1,000-seat number that I was talking about. And now, if you're an athlete who brings 50 people, that's a good start
I'm
for
trying to
an
call
amateur
you.
athlete.
Definitely, I'm trying to match that person.
Mhm.
I'm going, you know what? Damn, that guy brought in 100 tickets. Even if he fights okay. But he brought in 100 tickets. That guy's keeping my show alive. Honestly.
Not only that, they're bringing fans to your bout. They're
Right.
bringing fans to watch your bout where if you didn't
Paul is
bring,
reminding us about when he sold 120 tickets at
we
Tempe
don't
Center
forget
for the Art.
about that.
And guess what, Paul? Guess what, Paul from Chandler MMA? What did we keep doing? We kept calling you back. Did we not? Every single show,
To this
Chandler
day.
MMA was represented at our events
Well,
because they
Paul,
bring
you're the reason
fans.
why we were able to do the next one because
That's
without that
right.
That's
120,
100%.
And so
we're eating out of the garbage can.
whether they fight well or not, Chandler MMA came correct. They came correct. They came with the ticket sales. They came with the fights. Shoot, I'm breaking my back to call him back.
Well,
So,
Paul
hey,
gets it
give him a
though.
call.
I
Hey,
mean,
Paul,
if
how many
anybody
fights
knows
you got?
Paul
He's
gets
the first. He's the first call I'm making. How many fighters you got ready for XYZ date? For sure. We got to remember it's show business and it's a business. And you think this is charity? Good. You'll see how long that show lasts. Those guys that are doing it, oh, I'm just I'm gonna, you'll see how long that show lasts.
Well,
It's
they've
gonna
seen
hurt.
the big names that don't pay their bills. We don't want to talk
Oh
about
yeah.
that all over
Oh,
again,
I'll talk about it. Lion
but
fight.
it
I'll
happens.
talk about that shit openly because he
It
fucked the
happens.
community. He fucked the community, and I talk about it openly. And he
And that's
exclusively.
basic finance because you
It's
know
basic
going
finance.
in how much you're going to be spending on everything. And if you wrote more checks with your mouth than you're asking cash, then you
That's
got a
right.
problem.
That's right. That's the truth. So, word of advice for fighters out there is don't think because you can fight good that you have some kind of value. You do have value, but you got to let people see it. You got to show people how good you are. Have them follow you. Have them come to your fights. You're so good. Why aren't they showing up to watch you fight? Nobody's watching you fight. Better start questioning your ability. As if you're that good, shoot, I don't even know this guy, but man, he's such a good fighter. I'm buying a ticket. You know what I mean?
There's
So keeping it real today.
There's a handful of athletes too that are doing a good job at promoting, that are putting
Absolutely.
content out there, that I'm seeing. And, if I see it, I'll definitely tell them, hey, I'm noticing your content's amazing. You're
Right.
putting out something other than kicking a bag and other than doing the same thing that everybody sees all the time. They want to know who you are. They want to know and see into your training life. They want to see at home when you're having a mental breakdown and what is actually going through your mind. They want to know. And that's the stuff
Yeah.
that really
You're a
engages
performer
people to
in
come
the end of the
see
day.
you. Mhm.
Right. You're a performer. People, celebrities out there, there's gossip magazines dedicated to everything they don't do professionally. Oh, who they dating? Oh, they were at the store wearing some shitty, clothing. Oh, their hair was fucked up. They gained weight. But people want to know everything about your life. You're a performer. You are in show business, whether you like it or not, if you're a fighter. Whether you like it or not, you are in show business. And so just remember that, that your draw is equal to your value, not how well you fight. Now, it's correlated. If you're a good fighter, people are going to want to watch you fight. Whether you want to watch you lose or win, they're going to want to watch you fight if you're good. But you have to put it out there. Promoters is not sole job now. You actually have the power in your hands to build your own community and make them come to watch you fight. So, take advantage of that. Promote yourself, build it, build your community, your own community, a loyal following. It's important. And that has immense value to a promoter looking to sell tickets to keep their show alive. So let's be honest. Nobody here is making millions off of a pro show. Nobody in the United States is. And if you do, have them call me because I want to be a part of that show. I want to have some guys to put on their show. But to be perfectly frank, there's not one millionaire Muay Thai promoter in the US. And I challenge somebody to show me one. So that being said, I think we covered a lot today. It's been a whole
Absolutely.
hour.
Yep.
It's been a great show. Again, US Open, November 23rd, 24th.
Brand
You
new
have the Muay
venue,
Thai Combine.
2-day spectacular. Muay Thai Combine is going to be huge, man.
You have the
That's
Muay Thai
huge.
Combine. And that's going to be all week, Friday through the 22nd through the 24th. You're going to have, hopefully, Siam Fights, if we get the approval from the state. Siam Fights Live is back. You're going to have the Y Crew competition. If you guys want to compete in the Y Crew competition, make some money. It's actually a cash prize for youth division and adult division. That's a lot if you haven't been listening.
It's going to be one of the most amazing Muay Thai events in the United States in 2024. It will
It's going to be fun. It's going to be definitely a lot of fun.
It's
I'm
the
looking forward
place
to
to
it.
It's
be.
probably people's last real, like the last major of the year, right?
Of the
Ours
year,
is usually
yeah.
the last major of the year.
Yeah,
So,
last major
that same
tournament of the year.
philosophy, each one bring one, and we can blow this place out.
Yeah, and good luck to everybody at the TBAs. I know that's happening right this
That's
weekend.
right. It's happening
This weekend. I got a couple guys in there myself.
Yeah, good luck
And-
to everybody out there as well, and to Pam and Pete and everybody that's working that show. We definitely are. Prayers or thoughts are with you. You know, good times.
We know what you're going through.
Mhm.
So
The stress. So you'll get through it. They'll do a great job as always. Thank you guys. That concludes the Muay Thai, the Cruise Corner, Muay Thai Corner, Cruise Corner. And we'll see you next week, same time, 7 p.m. MST, live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. I hope to see you guys next week. We'll be maybe we'll have some guests. Maybe. Haven't confirmed yet, but I'm trying. Have some fun guests.
our guys,
Peace.
Chucky.